Hi, my name is Blair Purvis. I'm a physiotherapist and owner here at Movement Solutions Physiotherapy in Waterdown.
Hi, Blair. You've been operating quite a while in Waterdown. When you started your business, could have you ever imagined that a global pandemic would be the biggest challenge that you would face?
Not a chance. No, I mean, in a small business, there's so many challenges you have. So this would not have been on the radar for sure. There's enough challenges already.
And how are you doing right now?
I think it's a struggle. I'm past trying to be brave faced. No, we're getting by. I don't want to be pessimistic. I mean, we're fortunate. I think there's people in way worse off situations than we are. My heart goes out to restaurants, businesses such as that are completely closed down. So I feel a little bit sheepish in saying that it's a struggle and it's difficult, but it is. The hoops we have to roll through to make things work and function properly, which we want to do and be safe and be on par with what we need to do. But it's a lot of work with a lot less capacity. We can't offer as many appointments to our patients, and costs are up significantly.
Describe your business in a normal time. What are the services you offer? How would your clinic normally run?
Normally we are pretty much strictly a physiotherapy clinic. That's sort of what we've honed in on. So we would operate as that. And fortunately, like I said, we are deemed essential now, but the capacity to which we can see people would be much greater. So for the purposes of social distancing and providing that safe space, and time to effectively clean and disinfect the rooms between patients, we've had to lessen the treatment slots that we have available. So whereas before we might have maybe 5 treatment slots in a row for a particular physiotherapist, now we have to do 3 treatment slots and then leave a spot blank. So a 20-minute spot, and then start another 3 treatments. And so we have these gaps throughout the day in every physio's schedule to allow for appropriate room cleaning, and catch up, to be honest, because we can't have the same flow coming through the clinic. So physios can get a little bit behind with patients waiting in their car. We can't really operate our waiting room. So just the general flow of the clinic is reduced. And then, as I said earlier, costs are up. In terms of, we may get to this, but the big difference, I think, I did a look at this, our costs for PPE, because our industry is a fairly PPE intensive one. So costs pre-COVID shutdown going back 8 months was about $500-600 for even masks and gloves and what like that. 8 months past the shutdown were $7,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's not a stat that people, I think, get in their head until you say it.
Yeah, it's a huge number.
Yeah.
And the guidelines have been changing. It's been a little bit confusing. What do you want your patients to know in terms of how you are operating, that you are open, and what steps do they need to take to make sure that they can continue to get the care that they require?
I think the biggest thing for them to know is that we are healthcare professionals. We are trained in PPE, and we are mandated by public health guidelines. So as far as being a safe facility and the steps we're taking, we are taking all the steps. It was interesting as we went through the various lockdowns and changes, there were some protocols that came out and I would read them and I'd sort of go, oh, this isn't new. We're already doing that. We are open, and we have been able to adapt and change and provide various protocols to make things as safe as possible. Yeah.
Great. Stay-at-home orders may mean that people aren't getting out as much. Maybe they're not moving as much. They might be under a lot more stress. Do you have any tips or sort of different types of problems that you're seeing with clients and things that you might want to recommend that people continue to do while they're at home or in between some of their appointments?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been, particularly in the first lockdown, when we were doing some virtual appointments, when we were locked down as well, like the cases of seeing people where they're at their desk and, hunching over a computer. I mean, that's going to be more in the yeah, exactly, me too. More in the forefront for sure of people's sort of injuries. So making sure you are actually properly set up at your computer and you're not just at the kitchen table. You've tried to make that effort. Particularly, I think the other thing now, we know this is maybe more of a longer haul. It's not a 6-week thing we're going through. So take that effort to get the computer height properly adjusted and get a good chair and those sorts of things. So there's that aspect. And then, yeah, in that gyms are closed and whatnot, trying to be creative and finding alternatives. And it is as simple, it sounds silly, but go out for a walk. And I see way more people out for a walk these days. Not only physical, but you got to consider the mental health, right? And they really intertwine. Like if your mental health is in the crapper, then your body will reflect that, and you might feel a little more sore, a little more achy. So, and vice versa. If you're getting out and being active and healthy, your mind switches onto that as well. So there's a real interplay there. So just getting out, I mean, it sounds as simple as that, but get up and keep moving, stay active.
Yeah, those are great tips. And I know you're a big runner.
A cyclist,
so
actually.
What keeps you? Oh, cyclist, sorry. What keeps you kind of rolling through all of this? What are you drawing upon? What keeps you going?
Oh, that's a good question. My daughters, they are a big inspiration drive, happy, joyous times with them really helps. And still, I think as an entrepreneur, a business owner, I think innately have that drive to push through, keep going, make things better, fix things. So I think that's in me to sort of keep, as I've said through all this, my tolerance levels for adversity and things has gone up tenfold. So being tested and meeting that test, I think that's just a personality trait maybe.
Well, I know it's been challenging. I know we're all, looking forward to the days when we can resume things in a more usual way. Good luck.
Thank you.
Keep in touch. And any last words for anybody before we go?
Yeah, it is. I think there is something to be said for, and it's been great in the Waterdown community, that there's been a lot of work on your part to promote small businesses and get that vibe out there. And I think it's taking hold. But again, to some of the people that might not be in a small business, to recognize and realize the incredible stress and uncertainty around this event. That's not to downplay someone that is sort of struggling at home and not being social. But if you add on top of that, then not knowing if your business is going to survive, where your next paycheck is going to come from, going into significant debt, it's huge. And if I can make one other little point, that some of the government things that are put out there sound good, but in actual fact, they don't apply to some small businesses, myself being included. I mentioned my PPE costs, and I actually don't qualify for the PPE grant from the provincial government because I have 11 employees. The grant is for small businesses of 9 employees or less. So it seems there's a lot of stuff that just, I know they're doing their best, but there's sometimes things where you just shake your head a little bit.
Yeah, there are a lot of businesses slipping through the cracks, and I think that is something that a lot of people don't realize, that just how many challenges, and that some of the supports that they might have heard about don't always apply to the business.
Exactly, yeah. And as I said, I do really feel for businesses in worse off situations than myself. So kudos to them for soldiering through this as well.
I guess that's, it's what we can do, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining today. And
it's great. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.